So, like, you actually had roles coming up, but they included these little tiny itty bitty nudity scenes. So you just
Yeah,
left.
I got a soap opera, not even to be nude, but to be under the covers, like making out with someone. I was the affair. And then I said, I can't do that. But you're covered. I'm like, but it looks like I'm not, because up to here you could see, and it's, you know, and you're making out with someone. I said, I can't make out with someone. I can't everything. Then I got a Remington Steele, the guy who started in Remington Steele. Then he was, what's that called? Uh, 007. What's his name?
007?
007. Yeah, he was later James Bond.
O'Connor? Who?
James Bond.
James
And
Bond. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so I got a $6 million HBO movie with him. I would play his wife, but I'd be nude again, and he was a sculptor, but I would be covered like this, holding my hand here and my leg in front of me like that. But I said, I cannot be nude. They go, well, you have pasties and you have like a nude babe. I said, I can't, because it appears to the audience that I'm nude. So I quit. That was my final straw.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so how do you feel about that? Are you good? Or do you kind of like wish you would have explored that a little bit more and not have listened to other people's opinions? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's both. Part of me wanted to live that out because it was my dream, and I love playing other characters. And I think there's no greater growth than being in that field and just exploring the psyche of whatever character you play. But on the other hand, if I had been an actress, I wouldn't have traveled to over 60 countries. It wouldn't have put me on this journey.
Wow.
I would have just been acting in movies and, you know, hanging out with other actors, maybe all that kind of stuff. So what happened was I ended up saying, I'm going to go to Iraq. And my goal is to meet Saddam Hussein. And I know it was crazy. And Al-Qaeda was big at that time. And there was a no-fly zone. So and you keep hearing on the news that you take a bus from Jordan to Iraq, and it's an 18-hour bus ride. And 5 times it stopped. And sometimes they go, Al-Qaeda gets on to kidnap Americans or steal from them. And I thought, oh my God, I could go on this bus ride to Iraq and get kidnapped, because I was in love with Christiane Amanpour. So I thought, then I could become a war reporter. What I'll do is I'll work with them, and I'll co-write a book with them, because I felt I had a superpower, because I was with Hell's Angels and all this stuff when I was rebelling, and nobody hurt me. I put myself in harm's way 100 times. So I thought, oh, I could handle them. So I did that. I got a Louis Vuitton bag, and I got fake diamonds, and I went to Jordan, and then I went on the bus. And anytime the guards would come, I'm like, oh, my diamonds. My dad would kill me if he knew I brought my diamonds. Oh, do you know Louis? And oh, here's my passport papers. And nobody hurt me. Nobody would give me any attention except be super nice and thank you, enjoy your stay. And so that plan was, fell through. But what it did was it took me to Iraq. We're Christian Iraqis. So I ended up going to Till Kef, where my dad was from, a small town, because there's only like 2,000 Christians left in Iraq. Everyone else was Muslim. And I went to his home, which was caves. They're all caves together, and everyone slept on rooftops where you could jump from rooftop to rooftop. Really cool. Then they had a church, they had a little grocery store, just basics, and they had an orphanage. So I walked in the orphanage. This is the orphanage my dad was telling me about. So I walked through the doors, and I started talking to the kids and going, oh my God, tell me everything. And they're like, you don't care about us. You're bombing us. Americans this, Americans that. My uncle lost his leg. My dad died. I'm like, no, that's all politics. We care. We care. And I said, I'm going to memorialize your words. They're like, okay, are you sure? I'm like, yes, tell me everything. So they start sharing stuff. I'm like, what am I going to do with this when I got home? And then that led me on a journey of 5 years to 15 orphanages, interviewing the kids, then writing a book called Whispers from Children's Hearts. It's actually right here.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, Macau. So I asked them 3 questions, and I made it really cute, and China, Italy.
Wow.
So it's a really cute little book of their quotes and how they felt, and, about life. So yeah, so it was wonderful. This was an amazing, amazing experience. And it took me to Australia, China, France, Iraq, Israel, Italy, Japan, Macau, Malaysia, Mexico, Nepal, Netherlands, Peru, Singapore, and of course, the United States. So this was life-changing because once I did this, I self-published, and then somebody self-published it for me. And then I ended up giving it to bookstores and libraries and schools. And then I started getting asked to speak everywhere. And I took my daughter to school for first grade in Barcelona, and I passed it out all over Europe. And then I got asked to speak here and there. And then everyone had the book, and I became a speaker. I became an author speaker, and I never had that in my repertoire. That's a lesson.
Wow.